We used to have an idea of, we had the perimeter, and then we said, okay, well, we're going to have more partners in an extended supply chain, so I'm going to have an extended perimeter. And now we have cloud and mobile devices, and actually, it's almost the perimeter doesn't exist, or the perimeter is inside out. Everything is, everything is the perimeter, really. I think really what it comes down to is taking an approach where I'm able to focus on both people, really three things: people, the flow of data, and actually the transactions are that are being performed. And that can be from a mobile device, it can be from a traditional kind of PC, it can be from any other, but it's the same idea, is that I really need the ability to monitor and gain as much information about the users, the access environment, the application environment, and pull that all together so I get a sense of what does normal behavior look like, and when I see something that's different, when I spot anomalies, that's where I can focus in and say, is this something that's malicious, or is this just something that's normal behavior and someone's acting a little bit differently than they should, but it's not malicious?
Net weakness in any network segment or something like that?
Well, I think that the ability, again, we're talking about products, but the ability to comprehensively monitor your environment, as much intelligence as you can gather about what happens in your environment, what happens on your network, what happens across the flow of data on your applications, and then we can start to spot, again, that deviations from normal. That's the stuff that I need to start to look at.
And combine that with the data about user, typical...
That's very true, and actually mobile, not only, it presents challenges, but it also presents opportunities, because I can build, when we think about users, we're going to build a much richer profile of a user. Today, what information do we have about a user when we make a decision about whether to gain them access? It's, do they know do they have a username, and do they know a password, right? For the vast majority of applications, that's what it is, right? We need to move to a model. Again, it's data driven. It's a much richer profile. It's the user, it's their behavior, but it's something like mobile device. If Rob always gets onto the network and he accesses always from an iPhone, and he comes in over this network, and this is his network provider, and it's typically in these geographies. And then all of a sudden, Rob's coming in from an Android device on a different version of the operating system, from a region that I've never seen him in, on a carrier that I've never seen him. Those are all very different from my normal profile, and I can start to say, I need to do a little bit of additional proofing, a little more checking about Rob, and is he really who he says he is, before I allow him access to that.
Two-factor authentication on different device? Maybe?
It's really, so the device can be an authentication factor, but it's moving from, single factor or two-factor to almost infinite factors, right? How much information can I gather about you, your behavior, your environment, all those different things, and use them to make decisions about allowing you access. So use that for authentication or access management decisions. It's going to be much more like we do in the real world today. If I see you and you ask me for money or something like that, and you're a trusted friend, what's the calculus that I do? How long have I known him? Do I trust him? How's he acting today? All these different things. It's almost very much more biological, the way we do it. But it's at the heart of that biological response, it's evaluating a huge number of factors. That's really the model we need to go to, right?
User behavior can be their own password, or something like that.
Absolutely. It's that fingerprint, but again, there are so many different factors and indicators that go into that unique fingerprint of what's normal, and then I spot things that are different.